Hello and welcome to Prep Eve, where we revolutionize how you prepare for IELTS. I hope you guys are enjoying the guided reading practice series. Today I'm here with another type of question, which is matching features. So let's get started. This is how you have to approach any question that is asking you to match the features. So first of all, you have to read the instructions carefully. Number two, read all the question statements or read chunk of statements together. Let's say if there are 8 question statements, you can read first 4 together and find out the answers to those questions and then read the next 4 statements. So you can break it up as chunks, or you can read all the question statements in one go. While you read the question statements, you have to underline the keywords in the question and think about the synonyms. Okay, so underline the keywords. After you have underlined the keywords, you also have to think about the synonyms or similar meaning words that can be used or that could have been used in your passage. Number 4 is that you have to locate these keywords. At times the same keyword is used. So exactly same keyword that is mentioned in your question is used at times in your passage as well. So if you're lucky, you will get certain such questions also, but most of the times it is paraphrased or a synonym is used. So I would recommend that you think about the synonyms and try to locate those synonyms in your passage. After you have done this activity, another thing that is specific in case of matching features question is that you get a list of options as well. So I'll show you how the list of options look once we start practicing the questions. But for now, what you have to do is, as the point number 5 suggests, underline the option words. Option words are the words that are mentioned as options from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So these are the option words that you will have, and you will have to match these with the statements. Okay, so here in this particular passage that we'll be discussing today, the options are basically list of countries. So for example, the list of countries in this case, so you have to match the list of countries. So the list of countries obviously would have the names of certain countries. You have to match the names of those countries with the questions that are given to you. Okay, sixth, the last thing that you have to do is that you have to read the sentences with the keywords properly to find the answer. So once you've spotted the keyword, or let's say the synonym in the passage, once you've spotted that, you have to locate the sentences around it and read them carefully. Once you do this, half of your work is done. Then you just have to read carefully and find the answer. So this is the step-by-step approach to find the answers for questions that are asking you to match features. One of the most important things that you need to understand in such questions is that the questions do not follow the same order as the information in the text. Okay, please remember, do not. Okay, the questions do not follow the same order. In the last class, I guess we completed true, false, not given, and before that also we have attempted a couple of different types of questions. There the sequence was maintained. The answer to question number 2 will be after the answer to the question number 1, but here in this particular case, since it's matching the features, so matching can never be in the same order, right? So it would not be in the same order. Please remember that way you will be finding it easier to locate the answer. Let's now practice it and try to implement the strategy that we just learned. So the step 1 was to read the instructions. Before going through the passage, we'll quickly move on to the questions and read the instructions. So the instructions here says, look at the following statements and list of countries below. So on one hand, you have some statements which are from 17 till 23, and on the other hand you have list of countries. All you have to do is match these statements with the list of countries, and I'll show you the list of countries. These are the list of countries here in front of you. A till J. So these are the different countries. You have to match these countries with the statements that are given from 17 till 23. Alright, now here instructions are not yet complete. We also have to read the other two sentences. So it says match each statement with the correct country, A to J, that we just read. Write the correct letter A till J in boxes in front of this in your answer sheet. So it really depends whether you're taking the paper-based test or computer-delivered test. And NB, you may use any letter more than once. This is very important. I will be highlighting it. You may use any letter more than once basically means that you might use the name of the countries for more than one statement. So probably the answer to 17 question is also, let's say, France. Okay, this is also France and this is also France. Okay, it is possible you can use any letter more than once. So please remember, this is one of the most important instructions, because a lot of times students feel that the answer to a certain question has already been used and they cannot use it again. So you have to read the instructions carefully. If you do so, you will not make a mistake like this. This is one thing. The second thing is that all of the options that are given to you will not be utilized in any case. So if you have a look here, let's count the number of countries that we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 countries, and how many question statements do we have? We just have 7 question statements, right? 3, 3, 6, 7. So we have 7 statements, 10 countries, and you're also given this option that you may use any letter more than once, which basically means many of the options that are given to you will not be utilized or will not be the answers to any of the questions. I hope it's clear to everyone. If you're clear at this stage, you'll not be making silly mistakes while you're answering. So it's really essential that you go through the instructions carefully and not make any mistakes. Having said that, moving on to the next part, the step 2 of our strategy or step-by-step approach is to read the statement questions and underline the keywords. Now here we have about 7 statements. You can read 3, 4, 3, 4 together. You can make chunks or you can go through all of them at once. I'm going to go through all of them at once. Okay. So it says, it helped other countries develop their own film industry. Helped other countries their own film industry. So these are the keywords. So we have to locate which country helped in developing their own film industry. Okay, which country helped other countries in coming up with their own film industry is what we have to find. Second question is, it was the biggest producer of films. We have to locate which country is the or was the biggest producer of films. Next, it was first to develop the feature film. Who started the feature film is the third one. First one to start feature films or produce feature films. So produce, start, these are the words you can look for. It was responsible for creating stars. Which country was responsible for creating stars? Stars here are film stars, of course, actors. Next is, it made the most money from avant-garde films. What are these films? I'm not sure. Let's have a look at this word. Since it's in inverted commas, most probably this word would be as it is used in the passage. So we have to locate the country that made most money from these films. Next is, it made movies based more on its own culture than outside influences. Last but not the least, it had a great influence on silent movies despite its size. Despite the size, it had great influence on silent movies. So silent is the major keyword here. So Now that we have gone through all the statements, just keep in mind the synonyms of the words that we have underlined. Sometimes you might not need any synonyms because the same word would be used in the passage, but other times it would be required. So here are the list of countries. Now the next step was to locate all these countries in your passage, right? So if you remember, that was, I guess, our step 4 in the approach. So France, Germany, USA, Denmark, Sweden, Japan, Russia, Italy, and Britain, China. Okay, so let's quickly scroll up and underline the paragraphs or sentences where you find these words. So United States is here. Then I can see, okay, these are the name of the people pioneers, okay, who credited. British. French is here. Then Italian industry is here. In Europe, Germany proved to be industrially capable. French, Soviet Union, Japan, okay, more or less done. Hollywood again is USA, we all know that. Then here comes Europe. Silent film, see, when you're skimming through the passages or through the paragraphs, you might spot certain keywords. So we just spotted silent film. I'm not sure whether the answer to this question would be here or not, but at least we have spotted it. Okay, then I've also spotted avant-garde films, right? Okay, German films. Moving on to the next one. The most important was France, Germany, Soviet Union. French displayed the most continuity in spite of war. German cinema. So this activity would hardly take 2 minutes. It's just that I'm doing it in front of you guys, so it's taking a little longer. Otherwise, when you quickly skim and scan, you find out the answers or the keywords really quickly. So we are done. Most of the words have been, or the let's say the country's name have been highlighted or underlined. Now all we have to do is try and spot the answers. Okay, so the first and the foremost question was, it helped other countries develop their own film industry. We have to read at least the first paragraph to understand what this entire passage is all about, even though it's evident from the statements that the passage is related to film industry, okay, how the film industry evolved in different areas, in different countries, in different eras. But still we need some amount of idea. So let me just quickly go through the first paragraph and then we'll start figuring out the answers. Although French, German, American and British pioneers have all been credited with the invention of cinema, the British and the Germans played a relatively small role. So the role of these two were little less in its worldwide exploitation. It was above all the French, so the most important were the French, followed closely by Americans, who were the most passionate exporters of the new invention, helping to start cinema. So these guys helped in starting cinema in countries like China, Japan, Latin America and Russia. So what do we understand from this particular part? It's that British and Germans were least involved or played a smaller part, whereas the French played the most crucial part in exporting this invention. And what is this invention? The invention of cinema is being talked about here. And they also helped to start cinema in different countries like China, Japan, Latin America and Russia. In terms of artistic development, it was again the French and the Americans who took the lead, though in the years before the First World War, Italy, Denmark, Russia also played a part. So after the before the World War, these countries also started playing their own crucial roles. Let's go back to the first two statements and see if we have figured out the answer to any of those. I'm just scrolling down. Okay, it helped other countries develop their own film industry. Rings a bell? We just read this part. So which is the country that helped others in coming up with their own film industry? The answer to this one is French. So France is the list of from the list of countries we'll pick up France. So the answer that we write here is not France. You'll have to write A as your answer. So the answer becomes A. Okay, A, France. So here you do not have to write the entire word. If you write France, that will be incorrect. You have to choose the options. The option here is A. You have to write A. Alright, the next is it was the biggest producer of films. And the next one, we'll just read two together. First to come up with feature films. So feature films and biggest producers. Let's scroll up and see if we can find the answer to this one. Okay, so far there's no mention of being the biggest producer or feature films. So let's quickly go through the next paragraph. In the end, it was the US that has to become and remain the largest single market for films. So what do you mean by the largest single market for films? Biggest producers? If you're not really sure, you can read one or two more lines, but this is the answer to this question. So USA became or was, so this is the answer, USA, the largest single market for films. Now here, by protecting their own market and pursuing a vigorous export policy, the Americans achieved a dominant position on the world market. By the start of the First World War, the center of the filmmaking had moved westwards to Hollywood. We all are aware of Hollywood. I don't have to mention anything here. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I see feature film here, right? It says feature film. So I guess the answer is probably here. The Italian industry, which had pioneered the feature film with spectacular films like this and this, almost collapsed. So who pioneered? Pioneered means started, ventured into the feature film industry. They were the Italians. So the answer to the third question would be Italy. Let's go back. So biggest producer of films, USA. So the answer here would be C. And it was the first to come up with feature films. Feature films, Italian industry. So I guess the answer should be H here. Okay. It was responsible for creating stars. It made the most money from avant-garde films. It made movies based more on its own culture than outside influences. So we have to locate where they're talking about creating stars, which are basically our actors. Avant-garde movies, films. So this word has been used as it is in one of the paragraphs, and we'll go to that paragraph itself. Then we have to locate a paragraph where they're talking about their own culture rather than outside influence. Even the French cinema found itself in difficult position, industrially capable. Okay. Hollywood took the lead artistically as well as industrially. Hollywood films appealed because they had constructive narratives, special effects, and star system. So here we have star system added a new dimension to screen acting. So star system, and when we are talking about Hollywood, it's obviously in the USA, right? So the star system here, this line also suggests this, and the next line also continues on that. Hollywood did not have enough of its own resources. It had a great deal of money to buy up artists and technical innovations from Europe to ensure its continued dominance over present or future competition. Okay, so that's done and dusted. Moving on to the next one, we have silent film here. So it was only American slapstick comedy that successfully developed in both short and feature format. However, during silent film era, animation, comedy, serials, dramatic features continued to thrive along their factual documentaries, blah blah blah. You don't have to read everything. Avant-garde films first achieved commercial success, this time thanks almost exclusively to the French and occasionally to the German films. So what's the answer to this one? It's French, right? We found the answer to this particular question. And going back to our questions, so here Star system is USA, as we have already discussed. Most money was spent by the French, which would be A here, because France, if you notice, it's A. And then we are left with own culture, outside influence, and silent movies despite the size. So far we did spot silent movies, but I don't see the answer there. So silent film era, they have not really spoken about any country here, right? Exactly, they've not spoken about where silent films were being made, or you know, great influence on silent films or movies despite its size. So that's not been mentioned anywhere, therefore we'll just go to the passage. Of the countries which have developed and maintained distinctive national cinemas, silent period. Okay, here again they're talking about silent period. The most important were this. Of these, French displayed the most continuity in spite of war. German cinema relatively insignificant. So this was insignificant in the pre-war years, exploded on the world scene after 1919, yet even they were both overshadowed by the Soviets. Okay, they turned their back on the past, leaving the style of the pre-war Russian cinema. Okay, here if you notice, they are talking about the silent period, but our keyword is also size. Are they talking about despite the size or despite the population of that particular country, there was a great influence? That has not been spoken about. They've definitely talked about French displayed the most continuity, that is there, but they've not spoken about the other aspect of the question statement. So we'll move on to the next page. The other countries whose cinemas changed dramatically are Britain, which had interesting but undistinguished history in the silent period. So they're still talking about silent period, but our focus is size. Had a brief moment of international fame just before. Denmark, which played a role in the development of silent cinema, quite out of proportion. Do you see the mention of size here? Size, proportion, small population. This is going to be the answer for the second last or last question. Japan, where a cinema developed based on traditional theatrical and to a lesser extent other forms, only gradually adapted to Western influence. So the answer is Denmark, and here it's Japan, where they are majorly focusing on traditional theatrical. Okay, so that's the answer, and the Western influence came much later. So here let's go back, look at the options. So great influence on silent films despite its size. The answer is Denmark here. So it's D. 1 second, this would be D here. And for this one, it would be Japan. So this will be F. I hope everyone has understood how we find out the answers. If you notice, I haven't really gone through each and every line. Of course, you have to read the first two paragraphs. More or less have to read all the sentences of the first two paragraphs to get a basic idea of what's being spoken about in the particular passage. After that, you just have to look for the keywords. For example, in the third paragraph it was star system, in the fourth paragraph it was silent films, which gave you an idea that here the answer would be located. And when it comes to this paragraph, avant-garde films, so that's also there. And moving on to the next paragraph, we spotted silent period again, and all these countries, that was pretty useless because we didn't find anything related to the size. Then again here silent period, and you see small population and traditional theatrical or Western influence, which becomes your answer. So let's go back to the instructions that we were going through. So what we did for the very first look at the question, we have to read the instructions carefully. Once we have gone through the instructions, we read all the question statements, or you can read it in chunks. Then you underline the keywords and think about the synonyms. Some of the keywords would be used as it is, some of them might be changed or paraphrased. Then you have to locate these in the passage, locate these keywords in the passage. Underline the option words. Here the option words were the name of the countries, and if you remember, we underlined all the names in the passage even before looking for the answer. This will help you in locating. In the passage, for example, the list of countries in this particular case. Then read the sentence with the keywords properly to find the answer. So you have to read the sentences which have the keywords properly to figure out the answer, and the questions do not follow the same order. At times they could be in the same order, but it's not necessary. So this has been picked up from the website called ielts.org, and I would really want you guys to explore that website. So ielts.org. Go to this website, it has all the details, it will clear all your doubts with respect to your test format, types of questions, how the questions are asked, or whether you should go for paper based, computer delivered. This is your go-to website whenever you have any doubt related to IELTS. In any case, we are always here to help you out. If you're not able to understand anything, you can reach out to us. We also offer one-to-one classes as well as group classes. So in case any of you are interested, you can call on the numbers given or displayed below and get in touch with us. We have new batches almost every week, and when it comes to the one-to-one classes, you can join any time and you can choose any slot that you want for your classes. I hope you understood how to deal with matching features kind of questions. I hope you're clear with what needs to be done. Thank you so much. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you soon with another type of question. Thank you.